Okay, the question we discussed last time is the question number 72. We were unable to do its second part, right? Right. Second part of question number 72, we have to do, right? Now, there in the question you are given, prove that the straight line y equals mx intersects the curve y equals fx in two real and distinct points for all real and finite values of simple limit. Real and finite. Real means people real number. Finite means that value we can write using a real number. That means except plus infinity or minus infinity, right? Except plus infinity and minus infinity, all the real numbers are called as people finite. Okay. If and only if. There you can see people one statement if and only if. Right. This is of course another important one in the proofs in A-level combined maths. If and only if. People, this if and only if, this whole statement can be abbreviated this way, right? I double if. This whole thing, the same meaning we can give by writing if, I double if. Let's see what is meant by this if and only if proof. People, I am going to take one example like this. Okay. Suppose here we have a right angle triangle. Suppose we have a right angle triangle, right? Suppose this triangle is ABC, right? Triangle is ABC. Then I'm going to take the length of this AB as A, BC as B, and people, this is C, right? Well, now, you know, for this right angle triangle, for any right angle triangle, you know, any right angle triangle obeys Pythagorean theorem. So therefore, for this right angle triangle ABC, we can write people Pythagoras theorem. The Pythagoras theorem states hypotenuse perfect squared is equal to sum of the squares of the other two sides. Okay, so then I can write, see here, A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared, because the triangle is known to be right angle triangle. Okay, for any right angle triangle, it obeys Pythagoras theorem. Then for this right angle triangle, I can write by applying Pythagoras theorem, A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. See here, now I am going to, of course, abbreviate this statement like this. You know, triangle is right angle. Now we start from triangle is right angle. Triangle is right angle. Then this is true. See the forward result. We start saying triangle is right angle. In other words, right angle triangle we have. If the triangle is right angled, this result becomes true. Right. Now that is the forward result. Right? Yeah. So then people, what is the backward result? Starting from here, if I say this, if this condition is true for a triangle, that triangle should be right angle triangle. Okay. If ABC are the three sides of a triangle and that three sides satisfy this condition, then the corresponding triangle should be right angle triangle. See the forward result and the backward result. Okay. Then if I write the forward result in word, you can write this way. ABC triangle is right angled. Then we can write here, if ABC triangle is right angle, then A squared plus B squared equals C squared. That is the forward result. Then what is backward result, people? If for any triangle A squared plus B squared equals C squared valid, then the triangle is right angle. The triangle is right angle. Right? If ABC triangle is right angle, then this is true. Then secondly, if for any triangle A squared plus B squared equals C squared, then the triangle is right angle. See, the forward result and backward result I wrote this way by two statements. People, this two statement we can bring into one like this. The triangle is right angled. This triangle, the triangle is right angled if and only if. If and only if. If and only if. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Right, people? See here, this whole result is everything. Right? This everything. Right. This is the in figure wise. This is the statement wise. The same thing here we have. This whole thing we can abbreviate this way to a single statement. What, people? The triangle is right angle if and only if A squared plus B squared equals C squared. See? Then how do you understand when you are given this kind of statement? Yeah. Then, people, this is how we join this. The triangle is right angle. Right. Then we join like this. If we put here, if the triangle is right angle, then this is true. Understand? Backward result. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. From there we have result start. The backward result we write. The triangle is right angled only if we put where here. That is the backward result. Only if A squared plus B squared equals C squared, the triangle is right angled. Understand? If the triangle, if you put that one where here also, that's true. If the triangle is right angle, then A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. That is the forward result. Backward result. Only if A squared plus B squared equals C squared, the triangle is right angle. Understand, people? So therefore, now in the recent past, right, in our A-level combined maths proofs, especially in pure maths, this kind of if and only if proof coming. So this if and only if proof, people, contains two parts. The forward result starting from the right angle triangle and showing that. Second one is, people, backward result. starting from that statement showing the triangle is right angle. People, when you are asked to prove something subject to this word if and only if, you must prove, people, both forward result and backward result. Understand? If you prove only forward result, you most of the time we try to prove the forward result, then you lose marks. The backward result also we have to prove. Understand? So then let's see how to prove this kind of what result. Here, then you have to understand the meaning of the if and only if. Right? It contains two things. People will take down one note to understand this if and only if. This is the very first time that you are talking about this if and only if proof. I think by this example, you could very easily understand what is really meant by if and only if. Forward result and the backward result, both are available in this. Forward result is coming by if part. If part. Backward result is coming by this only if part. Then how to join this? If the triangle is right angle, this is true. Only if a squared plus b squared equals c squared, the triangle is right angle. Understand? That is how we, of course, match this statement for the forward and backward results. Understand? Right now. Then people, today we come to the first note before going to the second part of this question. Right? I'll write down if and only if. Right? I'm going to explain a little bit about this if and only if by using this way. Right? Okay. First write down note if and only if. This if and only if, people, sometimes we write by using the single word I double if. This also we can write within bracket. Right. Write down, people, one sentence like this. Write down like this. Consider a right angled triangle. Consider a right angled triangle capital ABC with hypotenuse simple C and other sides of lengths simple A and simple B. Simple A and simple B. Write down, starting from new line. We know for any right angle triangle, the Pythagorean theorem is true. And also the result available in Pythagorean theorem is true only for right angled triangles. Only for right angled triangles. Only for right angled triangles. Therefore, we can express this as follows. This as follows. Right, people. First, draw this right angle triangle. And write down this result. Put the arrow rightward and put the leftward arrow. Right. So this is called as the if. If the triangle right angle, then this is true. And this is if part. Right. This is called as the only if. Only if a squared plus b squared equals c squared, the triangle is right angle. And then write down that if part is this. If ABC triangle is right angle, then this. Only if for any triangle this becomes true, then the triangle is right angle. Right? And after writing up to here, people, now we can write this using one statement like this. Write down. After writing here, people, we must write another sentence here. Write in here, up to here, people stop the writing and we'll write one sentence. Right. Write down. The above results, write down here, the above results, the above results can be expressed by a single statement, by a single statement as follows. As follows. That statement is this, people. Write down. The triangle is right angled. The triangle is right angled if and only if if and only if. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. If and only if A squared plus B squared equals C squared. If and only if A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Right, people? Then this way, the statement can easily be obtained by this single one. Put this if at the beginning. If the triangle is right angle, then this is true. Okay, all right. Only if part, put this only if before this. Only if A squared plus B squared equals C squared, the triangle is right angle. So then by the single statement, this you can form this two. First put this if where here. If the triangle is right angle, this is true. Secondly, before this, put this only if A squared plus B squared equals C squared, the triangle is right angle. That is how people we get the two statement by the single statement you are given in a question. Now people, you have a little idea about the proof of if and only if. Now we move toward 72, second part that we didn't do last week, because that time, of course, I had to explain this. Now we took some time. Last day, of course, we didn't have much time to explain this and all. That is why I partially completed this. Now, today we'll come to second part. Right. Right, 72, second part. There you are given, prove that y equals mx. It's a straight line, no people. Y equals mx means, you know, it's a straight line passing through the origin, no? In your all levels, we have learned any straight line passing through the origin O has the general equation y equals mx, where this m is the intercept, gradient, no? M is the gradient, intercept is 0. Gradient, right? Okay, yeah. The curve y equals fx. Y equals fx. People, fx we are given at the beginning of the question. Fx is people, huh? Fx is this, no? First part of the question, fx is given. What is fx? It is x squared plus 2kx plus k plus 2. This is our fx, where k is a real constant. Actually, we said people, this fx means really for this fx, I can put this y, no? Fx is y, no? Then for this fx, if I put y, because fx and y being the same, no? Y equals x squared plus 2kx plus k plus 2. You can very clearly understand this y, its right hand side is quadratic expression. This is a quadratic graph. And furthermore, you know, this quadratic graph is a minimum graph because x squared coefficient is +1. Okay. Now, we know when we draw this one, it's a minimum graph. This is a straight line passing through the origin. People, now what is asking there to prove? Asking there to prove this way. Prove that the straight line y equals mx, this one, and this y equals fx quadratic graph, right, intersect in two real and distinct points for all real and finite values of m, if and only if k less than -2. Now people, this means if I geometrically explain this, suppose we have this graph, when we draw, it is a minimum graph, no? Suppose this minimum graph like this. Okay. Now, if I draw that y equals mx line like this, see here, you can see the graph y equals fx is this. The line y equals mx is this. You can see they intersect at two different points. See, there are 2 points of intersection and you can see there are 2 different points as the points of intersection. Now what we need to prove is, people, in order to intersect this y equals fx minimum graph and y equals mx straight line in this way at 2 different points, that k available here should be less than -2. That's what we have to prove, k less than -2. And that is not just a proof, if and only if proof. What do you mean by that, people? Then we have to prove, we are given if and only if, no, for all finite values of m, if and only if k less than -2. That means what, people? By taking the graph y equals fx and the line y equals mx intersect at 2 points like this, we have to prove k less than -2. That is the if part. That means if this line and the graph intersect at 2 distinct points, k less than -2. This is if part. Only if part is what? Only if k less than -2, the graph and the line intersect at 2 points. Then this part is the only if part. We have to prove the both directions. Understand, people? Right? Then I'll recall the theory at last we discussed. What is that, people? Intersection of a straight line, a quadratic graph. People, you can remember, we did finally only one theorem regarding this intersection. What is that? When we have this way a straight line y equals mx plus c dash, I think I took, and another graph like this, ax squared plus bx plus c, right? We said there, when we draw this graph and the line on the same diagram, sometimes the graph and the line do not intersect like this. Sometimes the graph and the line, they can touch like this. Sometimes the graph and the line, they can intersect like this. There are 3 possibilities. To explain these 3 possibilities in a single statement, we suggested one method. What is that, people? What we did there, we equate this y and this y. Left hand side is equal means, people, the right hand side equal. Then this equals this, ax squared plus bx plus c equals mx plus c dash. Then once you bring all the terms to left hand side, we said, people, there we can very easily notice, once you bring this side and take in x out, we get b minus m times x plus c minus c dash equals 0. Then you can see what is this really. This is what a quadratic equation in x. Then by using this quadratic equation, for this quadratic equation, people, we can find its discriminant delta is given by v squared minus 4ac. And we said one by one, if this delta greater than 0, we said the graph and the line intersect at 2 points like this. Okay. And if delta equals 0, people, we said the graph and the line touch each other like this. Third one, if delta negative, the graph and the line being separate each other. That is the key, what fact we use to explain these 3 situations. Then the same theory, people, we have to apply here. See here, this is a past paper question. If you don't know this theory, people, you can't answer this past paper question. Understand? Right? So that is why I did this under theory. So another one theory is there, 2 theories available like that. To finish, before finishing this lesson, we have to discuss. I supposed to discuss that too also, and thereafter doing more sums. We definitely finish this lesson in this month, August month also. Thereafter, our quadratic equation seminar series will be finished. Okay, right, people, then we'll start this theory. I think you can remember this theory, right? You watch the recording and you join the class, and now you have in head what this theory, right? Let's see how to use this theory to prove this. Okay, right. So then I'm going to start it like this. Right, so we start it like this. I'm going to write this way. Consider y equals mx and y equals fx. No, fx is this, no, this. Then we take this x squared plus 2kx plus k plus 2. Right, no? Right. I will start like that, people. Right, now we write like this. Solving these equations simultaneously. People, solving simultaneously mean what? This y left hand side and this y left hand side we equate. When the left hand sides are equal, mean people, the right hand sides are equal. That means we equate the right hand sides. Okay, and then that right hand side x squared plus 2kx plus k plus 2 we equate to right hand side of this. Right, now we bring what? This mx to this side, x squared plus 2k minus m times x plus k plus 2 equals 0. This way we get. Now you know this is that required quadratic equation of which we consider the discriminant delta to explain that three possibilities. Understood? Right? Then what is delta? Delta you can write. Delta is b means this, no, people, no, this is the b, no, right? Here this is 1, it is a, this is b, this is your c. Delta now b squared 2k minus m perfect squared, b squared minus 4 times a is 1, right? C, people, k plus 2. Then we can write, don't go to expand this, we'll keep it like this, 2k minus m perfect squared minus 4 times k plus 2. Right, now 4 times k plus 2. Right, people, now this is the key term we use to describe that three possibilities. Intersection at two different points, touch them each other, they lie separately. Understood? Right. Now, people, again, once we come to this question, prove that the straight line y equals mx intersects the curve y equals fx in two real and distinct points for all real and finite values of m, if and only if k less than -2. Then, people, we can write one statement like this. The statement we write is this. We write like this: y equals this graph and y equals mx intersect at two distinct. You know, people, here distinct means, the word distinct means different, right? Intersect at two distinct, right, points. By that statement we write. Okay, that is how we start this question, right? Then Right, people? Then I'm going to write that statement. Okay. This delta is here. Delta is here. We need this delta. Delta is 2k minus m perfect squared minus 4 times k plus 2. Right. And then what is the statement we write? The statement we supposed to write is this. We write y equals mx and y equals fx intersect at two real, long statement come in, at two real distinct points. Distinct points for all real values of m. For all real values of m. For all real values of m. Long statement coming. Sometimes you take 2 lines. Never mind, people take 2 lines. Y equals mx and y equals fx intersect at 2 real distinct points for all real values of m. People now see here that y equals fx is here, the quadratic graph. Y equals mx is here, the straight line. If they intersect at this way 2 different points, that means this is what it says. This statement says the one available in the diagram. The minimum graph and y equals fx intersect at 2 points. That one only this statement says. People, in order to occur this way, that means to cut this line and the graph at 2 points, what is the condition required? Condition required is, people, this delta should be positive, no? So therefore, people, this statement implies, gives, reads, means what? The delta should be positive, no? So how to give this idea? Double line arrow like this. This statement gives us. This double line arrow has the meaning, people. This has what? The meaning gives, says, implies, reads. These are the general meanings of this symbol. Understand? Therefore, this statement gives us, implies, says, or reads what? Delta. This should be positive. For what? For all real values of m available, right? For all real m. All real m mean, people, here m is a real number. Whatever the real number m takes, this delta should be positive. Even what is delta? Is this? This statement implies, substitute for this delta, 2k minus m perfect squared minus 4 k plus 2 less than 0. Sorry, not less than 0, greater than 0. But this one come in here. For all real m. For all real m. Right. Now, people, next. Now, people, see, in order to occur this expression should be positive. Whatever the value of this m can be minus value, minus 100, minus 100,000, minus 1 million, or m can be any positive value. Whatever the real number we substitute for the place of m, right? This expression should always be what, people? Positive. People, you know, what do you have here? Perfect square. What is within bracket? A real number. K is a real number given in the question. M is we are given as real and finite. That means real number. Then this 2k minus m is what? A real number. Its sign can be positive or negative. This 2k minus 1 within bracket, this number can be a positive value or negative value. Whatever it is, positive or negative, people, after squaring that, what do you get? We get a positive value. Or sometimes it can be 0. Understand? Right? So therefore, you know, see here, minus 5 squared plus 25 plus 3 squared plus 9, 0 squared 0. See here, perfect square cannot be negative. The perfect square of any real number, people, positive value or 0. Like that, people, this is always positive value or 0. Understand? Now suppose this is positive 10. Now we have minus 4k plus 2. Right? Now, really suppose here, after minus sign as the value of this, suppose we get 15. Then what happens? 10 minus 15, the difference is minus 5. This statement is not positive. Statement will be negative. But we need this statement to be positive. Understand? Now suppose like this, we have this perfect square, no? It takes 0 because that is possible, no? Perfect square for real number can be 0. That happens when this is 0. Okay. And now for this, here we have minus sign. For this 4 times k plus 2, we get, suppose, an answer minus 2. Then this answer is minus 2. Before that, another minus sign we have. This way we have minus and minus make plus, no? Plus 2 coming. Then this statement, the left hand side become plus. This sign become valid. Like that, people tell me, this is either positive or 0, no? This can take, this perfect square can take positive or 0. Whichever it takes, positive or 0, for the whole left hand side to be positive, people, since here we have minus sign, if this answer 4 times k plus 2, this whole answer, if this whole answer 4 times k plus 2 is negative, that negative and this negative together, positive coming, this is positive, positive plus positive is positive, and if this is 0, 0 plus positive is still positive. Then people, whatever this value of m, if this 4 times k plus 2 becomes negative answer, whatever the value of m, the whole left hand side become positive. Therefore, people, this is very important. For all real values of m, this left hand side to be positive, what is the condition, people? Condition is this 4 times k plus 2 or k plus 2. In other words, if the answer of k plus 2 is negative, that negative and this negative together positive, this is now positive, this is positive, positive plus positive is positive, and if this is 0, 0 plus positive is still positive. Then people, for all values of m, this left hand side to be positive, what is the condition required? This k plus 2 should get negative value. That negative and this negative provide positive, then the left hand side become positive. Understand? So therefore, for all values of m, this statement to be positive, this k plus 2 should be what, people? Negative. Understand? Then after this, what is the statement we write? For this, you can say what? In order to occur this, right? For all values of m, in order to positive to the left hand side, this implies what? K plus 2 should be negative, no? Less than 0. Understand? This implies what, people? Take this to right hand side, simple inequality, no? K less than minus 2. All right. 0 minus 2 is minus 2. We got that way. Right? Now, people, we have proved if part. What is if part? Y equals mx and y equals fx intersect at two real points. If happens that way, by following this way, we proved k less than minus 2. If part we have proved. Now, people, only if part. Then how to prove this only if part? Starting from here, only if k less than minus 2, we have to prove y equals mx and y equals fx intersect at two real distinct points. People, starting from this, we have to obtain this. People, now we have to start from this, right? K less than minus 2. This one implies, people, this no. Then we have to write next one as k plus 2. Once you take this to this side, this becomes negative. This one we got. By that we can write this. This implies what? This thing. 2k minus m perfect squared minus 4 k plus 2 greater than 0. That implies this, right? Delta greater than 0. Delta greater than 0 implies, people, y equals mx. This way the statement now you can write. The whole statement now you can write. That's the way of proving the only if part, people. That means this way, another set of statements we must write starting from k less than minus 2. That's what we have to do. But, people, separately, we don't write this kind of sets of statement. What we do is, to get the set of statement, we put for this arrow backward direction. This implies this here. This one coming. From here to this arrow, we put backward. This implies this. That implies this. This implies this statement. That is how, people, we do the converse result, backward result. We don't write another set of statements like this. Just we put the backward. So this is the way of proving what? If and only if proof. If and only if proof. Understood? Okay, so this is the completion of the if and only if proof. So therefore, people, don't forget to put what? This backward arrow. Only the forward result you completely proved. Backward result, people, nothing. You have to go from the last step, what? To up. To show that, people, you have to put backward arrows. For the backward proof, you get 5 marks. Because only to put what? This way arrows, no? Then the only proof you get only 5 marks. That is just to put arrows. Put in for the arrows only we get 5 marks. So that is how, people, we complete what? The if and only if proof. Understood? Right now? That's how we prove that part. Right. Okay, that's the end of that question. Right. Right, people, now we take another question. It is number 73. Question number 73. This is another past paper sum. This question is little bit long question. This question you should be able to do within half an hour. But at the beginning, people, when we try to do this question, within half an hour, you can't work out. So now, see, we took nearly 50 minutes to complete what this, because I took every possible aspects to explain this so as to understand very easily. I think you could understand that a little bit at least, okay, so that once you read this another 2 or 3 times, you can completely understand this. Right. Okay. Now, people, this question number 73, I can remember this question was in 2013. This question also take a little long time. I supposed to discuss within 1 hour, but not possible. Right? Okay, I can actually work out this question within 12 minutes or 10 minutes. Then next day nobody will be in the class. So therefore, no point of saving the time without doing everything properly. So therefore, I take more time so that you can understand everything. And by that experience, you can do another 2-3 questions by yourself. That is the effectiveness, right? Okay, so once we sacrifice something, we get a gain for that. Right? If I try to save my time and doing here and there, people, that saving of time effect, no effect. Right? So then, people, efficiency and effective both should be together. Right? Yeah. So then we'll take 73, question of 73. Some parts sometimes you can answer. Those parts you must answer yourself, people. Right? So anyway, I do that secondly. I give you the chance to answer that part and then answer that part, and like that, step by step, we'll move. Okay, right? Okay, then people will take question number 73, right? Long simplification is there, people. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy, anybody. People, at the beginning of the start, if you familiar with this kind of simplification, I think people in the future, it's very flexible and convenient to follow this course. Most of the time, most of the classes, especially in some schools, people, this kind of questions, they don't discuss. The reason is, you are just, of course, passing the O levels and came to the A levels, right? So once we do this kind of bit complicated questions, sometimes you can't understand. Because of that, sometimes you will ignore the class, you change the class, right? And so on, many things might occur. So therefore, most of the time in tuition classes, at the very beginning, this kind of difficult sums, not difficult, complicated sums, long sums, they don't work out. But people, according to my experience, this is my 23rd batch, according to my experience, even though people, some weak students may be in the class. Weak means people, at the beginning, they are weak. Sometimes they are the island rankers at the examination. Weak means at the moment only, people. Okay. But your weakness is not forever. Weakness means, people, that doesn't say inability. So weakness is you are, of course, lack of things regarding the lesson. But by taking more time, people, one by one, we explain everything. Everybody, if they have a motivation, right, they can come to good level so as to get what good pass at the A level. That is my experience. So that is why usually, people, for the previous question, I took 50 minutes, but I could have done this. I had to write only these steps now, people. What if I wrote only these 5 steps and complete the question within 6 minutes? People, the thing I explain everywhere here, you don't have. But most of the time in your school, when you do this proof, they will definitely do like this. Some other classes also, people, once you do this question with them, they might write, people, only these steps. But comparing the 5 lines or 6 lines here, and before that, the things I explain, people, lots of things you have in your mind now. So like that, people, that is what we say, people, we have to lay our foundation strongly. With my notes, people, any if and only proof, if you have, you can match that with my note. So that is why, people, usually in my class, I take more time. I take more time to complete something. Now, I think this is my quadratic equation, 6 or 5 or 6, 6th class, 5th or 6th class. People, seminar means usually seminar is started by most of the teachers in order to attract the students. That seminar is only for 2 hours or 1 hour or at the most 2 days. But my seminars are different from like that, people. I need to give you something that is worth. Thereafter, that is up to you whether you continue my class or not. I can't do works partially, people. So according to my experience, I know what we do to the nature correctly, they will value us. Not now, in the future, or in the next soul, if we believe the soul. Right, people? Therefore, my satisfaction is there. Due to my satisfaction, I am sure that nobody, of course, all our followers, right? All our followers, we are the head. You will realize that in the very near future. Okay, people, like that we do. So that is why sacrificing this way the time, no extra advantage for me, people. Right? I sacrifice because I must do the thing correctly, efficiently till the end, so that finally I can satisfy I did this thing correctly and fully for the welfare of the nature. That is how I think, right? So then people, we come to question number 73. I'll give 2 minutes. Read the question number 73 and try to answer the possible parts in it available. Right. Take 73. Take question number 73. Yeah, here asking a question, deduce. Deduce means people, prove. Prove. Deduce means prove. But whenever you have deduce, in the previous part, in the same question, you have obtained particular result. That result you have to use to prove the next one, asking when you are given there the word deduce. Understand? Deduce means prove. To prove something given, you must use the previous result. Definitely using the previous result only, you have to prove the next one. That is the meaning of deduce. Deduce means prove. Only thing is, for that proof, you have to use the previous result in the same question you have used. Okay, right. Okay, now take 73. Right, let's see. What is question number 73? Let alpha and beta be the roots of the equation, right? X squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This equation has the roots alpha, beta, right? And gamma and delta be the roots of the equation x squared plus mx plus n equals 0, right? We can write here gamma and delta, x squared plus mx plus n equals 0. X squared plus mx plus n equals 0 has the roots gamma and delta, right? Given. Where BCMN people here, BCMN belongs to this notation. R we write another line here to say set of real numbers. Set of real numbers. Okay, set of real numbers means the set containing all real numbers. Then this BCMN are people real numbers. That's the meaning. Okay. Now, asking this, find alpha minus beta perfect squared in terms of B and C, and hence write down gamma minus delta perfect squared in terms of M and N. Deduce that if alpha plus gamma equals beta plus delta, then this answer, right? People, now you know this equation is a quadratic equation. Roots are alpha, beta. Then you know for a quadratic equation, if its roots are known, we know how to write the sum of the roots and product of the roots. Sum of the roots here, people, alpha, beta sum, we write like this. Can you remember that result? The sum of the roots, people, given by what? Minus x coefficient, b, divided by x squared coefficient here 1. This we have divided by 1. B divided by 1 is, people, b, then we get minus b. Right? Product of the roots, alpha, beta, product, people, the constant divided by x squared coefficient 1. C divided by 1 means, people, c. Like that, for the second one also, we can write gamma plus delta and gamma delta. Gamma plus delta and gamma delta product we can write. It's minus same and in. Like this. Okay. Find alpha minus beta perfect squared. Right. We'll write alpha minus beta perfect squared. First one. Alpha minus beta perfect squared. People, shall we expand this? This is like A minus B perfect squared. Now, what do you get there? Alpha squared minus 2 alpha beta plus beta squared. This alpha squared and beta squared we can write together like this, people. Taking this and this together. But can you remember we wrote alpha squared plus beta squared as how? Huh? Alpha plus beta perfect squared minus 2 alpha beta. Go through your notes. Right. So then we can write this alpha squared plus beta squared. How, people? Alpha plus beta perfect squared, right? Minus 2 alpha beta. And this minus 2 alpha beta, we have write separate like this. Right? Okay. Then this is the alpha minus beta perfect squared. Now you can write alpha minus beta perfect squared is equal to alpha plus beta perfect squared minus 2 alpha beta people minus 4 alpha beta. Right. Now we have substitute for this L plus beta. L plus beta is minus b. Then we get there minus b perfect squared minus 4 times alpha beta is people c. Then minus b perfect squared is b squared minus 4c. This is your alpha minus beta perfect squared. This is what the answer for alpha minus beta perfect squared. Okay. Right. People, a special announcement. Recently, again, some students asked to start a new group, and most of the students in that asking to include a little explanation in Sinhala as well. So therefore, I supposed to start that bilingual class end of this month. And this class is continuing this way till your examination, only in English. And the message is this: if you have some friends, they are doing in Sinhala medium, they can also join this class because I explain everything in Sinhala, right? Anybody can join, people, right? Anybody can join. Then Sinhala medium students also, they can join. I supposed to give them a Sinhala medium tutorial separately and English medium tutorial separately, and the class is going in both mediums. People, it is not, that doesn't say the language issue. So you all are very talented ones. But people, our mother tongue is, my mother tongue is Sinhala. Some of your special Muslim students, your mother tongue is Tamil. People, we are not visitors really for this language. Now we can manage well, but people, what we can, now suppose we need to give particular idea, right? So that idea, according to my feeling, people, 100% accurate, we can give our feeling to others by our mother tongue, mother language. That is not our error, people. Now, usually, especially Chinese and Japanese, once they pronounce the English words, people, pronunciation is really complete wrong. Especially France, they don't care about the English. Now in English doesn't say people, he is a perfect one. No. Usually, whenever you hear the lectures in China and Japan, some universities, people, statistics they pronounce as statistic. Statistic. People, we can't laugh at them, people. Right? Just knowing English mean, really, it doesn't say that he's a perfect one. But in Sri Lanka culture, they believe that English non-person means very great. That doesn't say people perfect man. Okay. Now one story is like this. I can hear, I heard this way. One of my friend, they did commerce streams in university. And one lecturer, he has said, some people, they say, for a manager, English is number one. They said like that. Okay. One that lecturer said, one of his thing, or somebody said with him, for a manager, English is number one. Then he said, when we consider beggar in America, English is fluent, no, people. Can he bear that post of manager? English is number one, no. What do you say, people? Language is not number one, people. A beggar, when he comes to America, in English, no, people. Can he work as a manager in a company? English is first, no. No. So therefore, people, language, anybody can learn this language. At the moment, I am also not perfect in English. I'm sure that. I can just manage my work, day-to-day work in English. People, why do we talk about English? Do we know Sinhala or Tamil well? අපි සිංහල දන්නවද ළමයි හරියට? අපි සිංහල හරියට දන්නවද? නෑ. අපි හරියට තමිල් දන්නවද? නෑ ළමයි. එහෙනම් අපි ඉංග්‍රීසි දැනගන්න හේතුවක් නෑ නේ. ඒ නිසා අපි දැනගන්න ඕනේ ඉංග්‍රීසි. අපේ වැඩ ටික කරගන්න ඉංග්‍රීසි එක දැනගත්තා නම් ඇති. Nobody is perfect in English, people. The reason is, when I was doing my A-levels, not A-levels means in my university, second year only I did my A-levels. In English, I did literature and everything. I got tuition by my teacher. His son is purely Buddhism Sinhala man. He's a lecturer in England, in a university. He is lecturing English to English persons. This is a very truth one. That madam one day said, laughed at me, Ananda, mage puta, ඉංග්‍රීසි දන්න මිනිසුන්ට ඉංග්‍රීසි උගන්වනවා දැන්. ඉතින් ළමයි ඉංග්‍රීසි මිනිස්සුත් ඉංග්‍රීසි දන්නේ නැති හින්දා අපින් ඒගොල්ලෝ ඉගෙන ගන්න. ඒ නිසා අපි ගැන මොන කතාවද? ඒ නිසා ඉංග්‍රීසි මීඩියම් පන්තියේ සිංහලෙන් උගන්වනවා කියලා ළමයි කවුරුවත් කාටවත් අපහාස කරන්න යන්න එපා. එහෙම දෙයක් නැහැ ළමයි. එහෙම දෙයක් නැහැ. ඒ නිසා අපි කරගන්න ඕනේ අපට ඉංග්‍රීසි ඉගෙන ගන්න පුළුවන් ඕන වෙලාවක. ඒක සරල දෙයක් ළමයි. මැත්ස් ඉගෙන ගන්න බෑ හැමෝටම ළමයි. ඒ නිසා ඕගොල්ලෝ මදර් ලැන්ග්වේජ් එකකින් ඉගෙන ගන්න බලන්න. පස්සේ ඉංග්‍රීසි වලට දාගමු අපි ඒක. ඉතින් ඕගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ අපි A level කරේ නෑනේ ළමයි ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින්. මම grade 1 ඉඳන් grade A level කරනකල් ළමයි සිංහලෙන් ඉගෙන ගත්තා. ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් ඉගෙන ගත්තා ඉස්සරම කැම්පස් එකට ගිහිල්ලා. කැම්පස් එකට ගිහිල්ලා ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් උගන්වනකොට මොනවද දන්නේ අපි. මොනවද තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. පළවෙනි මාස මොකවත් තේරුන්නේ නැහැ. හරි? ඊට පස්සේ ආවේ ළමයි කැම්පස් එකෙන් අවුට් වෙනකොට ඉංග්‍රීසි මීඩියම් ක්ලාසස් පටන් ගත්තා. පුළුවන් ද ජීවිතේට මැත්ස් ඉගෙන ගන්න පුළුවන් ද අවුරුදු 3කින්? ඉංග්‍රීසි ඉගෙන ගත්ත ළමයි අපි අවුරුදු 2කින්. ලැන්ග්වේජ් එකක් දැම්බෙන්න උනට ළමයි තව අවුරුදු 2කින් ඔයගොල්ලෝ පුළුවන්. ඒ නිසා ලැන්ග්වේජ් එක ප්‍රශ්න කරගන්න එපා. තේරෙන භාෂාව ඉගෙන ගන්න. හරි? ඒකල්ලා අපි ඉස්සරහට ගිහින් පස්සේ ඒක ඉගෙන ගමු. දැන් ඇත්තටම මම මේ ඉංග්‍රීසි මීඩියම් ක්ලාස් එකක් කියලා ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන්ම කල්යම් කරන්නේ. සමහර අද ළමයි ඉන්නවා මුස්ලිම්ස් and tamilස්ලට සිංගල් පොඩ්ඩක්වත් බැරි ළමයි ඉන්නවනේ. පුළුවන් අය ඉන්නවා. සමහර මේ මුස්ලිම් ළමයි ඉන්නවා. ඒගොල්ලෝ ඕල් වලට කරලා තියෙන්නේ බුද්දිසම්. 2014 මගේ ළමයෙක් ආවා මහවැනි ළමයෙක්. තාත්තා මුස්ලිම් උගන්වන්නේ බුද්දිසම් ඉස්කෝලේ. පුතාට බුද්දිසම් වලට A. අපට වඩා බුද්දිසම් දන්නවා. ඒ නිසා ළමයි ඒක රිලිජන් එකක් එක ඩිපෙන්ඩ් වෙන එකක් නෙවෙයි. ඒක ස්කිල් එකත් එක ඩිපෙන්ඩ් වෙන එකක්. ඒ නිසා අපි පටන් ගන්නවා මේ මාසේ අගට පටන් ගන්නවා. සිංහල ප්ලස් ඉංග්‍රීසි දෙකෙන්ම අපි එක්ස්ප්ලেইন කරනවා. සිංහල මීඩියම් ළමයිට දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඉංග්‍රීසි මීඩියම් ළමයිට දෙන්න පුළුවන්. මුස්ලිම් අයට සිංහල තේරෙනවා නම් එන්න අලුත් පන්තියට යාළුවෝ ඉන්නවනේ යාළුවන්ට කියන්න. හරි. අපි ටියුට් එක දෙකෙන්ම දෙනවා ළමයි ඔයගොල්ලන්ට. දෙකෙන්ම PDF එක දෙන්න. දෙකෙන්ම එක්ස්ප්ලেইন කරනවා. සිංහලින් නෝට් එකක් පොඩ්ඩක් දෙනවා. ඉංග්‍රීසි නෝට් එකක් දෙනවා. පොඩි කාලයක් වැඩිපුර ගන්නවා අපිට ලැන්ග්වේජස් දෙකෙන්ම යන හින්දා. ඒ නිසා ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ සිංහල යාළුවෝ ඉන්නව නම් කියන්න. ඉංග්‍රීසි මීඩියම් යාළුවෝ ඉන්නව නම් කියන්න. අලුත් මුලින්ම පන්ති පටන් ගන්නවා. රයිට්. ඉතින් මම බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා ඉංග්‍රීසි and tamil එක්කුත් කරන්න. දැන් tamil ටික ටික ඉගෙනගෙන යනවා ඉස්සරහට. බලමු අපිට කොච්චර tamil පුළුවන් වේද කියලා. இப்போ கொஞ்சம் தெரியும். That is sir. Oh, very good no. Here people available here now. Yeah, Dafir did Buddhism for others. Yeah, what nice people. What nice. As well as we must learn other religions also. Then only people we get a communication between us. Right? So especially the higher level politicians, they can of course conflict between the nations because of this misunderstanding among them. We are in this corner, others are this corner. Once they come together, the conflict coming. Mutual understanding is not there, people. So there is an issue in the countries, in almost all countries, people, for the conflicts, the main reason is this, the extremity. Right? So we'll ignore them, and as one nation, we can go forward, people, without any struggles. Right? The rulers, usually a ruler, politicians, they need this extremity nature. Then the rule in the country or somewhere is very easy for them. Right? So then anyway, people, we'll do like that. Then even in the physical classes after starting, I keep 2 classes. One is completely in English and another one is in bilingual or trilingual after learning some Tamil. right, in the future. Okay, people. Right, that is of course your welfare. Huh? I am a little bit okay with Tamil. I learned Tamil in my O-levels and I could speak and write those days. Now after like 15, 20 years, I didn't use, now everything forgotten. But I thought of using them because I learned for them for the future. Use no people. Now I am going to remind them, and I try to do the class in trilingual so that everybody can understand. Okay. Once we start that one, there will be a little bit issue. Some of you might laugh at me once I pronounce in Tamil, right? Even today, when I pronounce in Tamil, people, some Muslim students and some of my friends smile at me because of the incorrect pronunciation. That's at the beginning of okay, people, but pronunciation means people typical. For that nation, that is a typical thing. Okay, anyway, people, right. Now, first one we got. Right, so now the second one is this. Yeah, deduce that. Right, people. Now the word deduce. One answer today, one question today asked. What is the meaning of deduce? Deduce that. Deduce means prove. What? If alpha plus gamma equals beta plus delta, then this answer, right? Before that, asking, hence write down. Another word is hence. Hence. And finally, we have deduce. People, hence means using the previous result, obtain. Obtain. If you have the word hence, definitely previously we have a result. By that result we can use to get the next answer. Hence means that. Deduce means prove. Prove using the previous result. Right? So then hence means it is not actually proof. Writing down a statement by using a similar statement previously we obtained in the same question. That's the meaning of hence. Deduce means people prove with the help of the previous statement. Okay. So whenever you have the word hence, people, don't go to use any other result without using the previous result. So far we proved, no marks. If you have hence or otherwise, in that case, people, without using the previous result, starting from new way, you can take the answer, you get marks. If you have the word hence only, don't go to use any other method. Definitely, you must use the result in hand you have at the moment. Okay, right? Now, people, here see, this one, pay your attention onto this. X squared plus bx plus c, right? Roots alpha beta. Okay, roots are alpha beta. Then here we wrote alpha minus beta perfect squared equals b squared minus 4c. We proved that. What is this b? The middle term coefficient. Minus 4 times, what is this c? The constant here. Okay. People now see here, this one. For this b, we have m. For this c, we have n. And the roots of this gamma delta. People, by following this result, can't we write for this equation gamma minus delta perfect squared? Gamma minus delta perfect squared. Here b, middle one, coefficient. Here middle one, coefficient is m. Then this place of b will be m. M squared should be there. And for c is the constant, and this is in this equation n. Then this should be n. See here, by using this result, by observing that, since this is a very similar thing to this, by using this result, we could write this. That's the meaning of hence, people. Hence. Understand? Right. Okay. Now let's see deduce part. Now hence part here, very similar result we need to write. Then we could use this. By using this, by observing this, we could write this. That is the hence. Now deduce part is there. Deduce. Right. Deduce that if alpha plus gamma equals beta plus delta, then this answer. Deduce means proof. Right? Then for the proof people, for this deduction part, we are given something like this. What? Alpha plus gamma is equal to beta plus delta. This is given if using this result, we have to prove this result. What result, people? B squared minus 4c equals m squared minus 4n. You are given alpha plus gamma is equal to beta plus delta. Using this, with the help of this and this, we have to obtain this answer. That is the meaning of deduce. Why do we say with the help of these two? People, deduce means definitely previously obtained the result, right? Should be used. Understand? Now, hence, we proved this one. We need to write a similar result. Then we just followed the right hand side. There are people, we made a comparison and we wrote the required one. Not anything other than that. Now here, deduce means something is given, something is to prove. The proof should be done with the help of the previous results. Then really, deduce means people, proof is there. Right. Then see people how to prove. We have to start from here. There's a condition for this proof. This is available like this condition is given. We have to prove this. But since the word deduce available there, for that proof, you have to use the previous results. Yeah. Now let's see. Since this is given, people, alpha plus gamma equals beta plus delta, then I can bring this beta to this side. Alpha minus beta. I can take this gamma right hand side, delta minus gamma. This is what we have. By using the given one, we can write like this. Now what we do is, people, we square both sides, square in both sides. Square in both sides. We square both sides. So what do you get? Alpha minus beta perfect squared equals delta minus gamma perfect squared. Alpha minus beta perfect squared equals delta minus gamma perfect squared. Okay, square in both sides. People, you know this result. Alpha minus beta perfect squared. Oh, see this one. A minus b perfect squared is same as b minus a perfect squared. When we have a even power, this difference we can interchange the order, answer won't change. Understand? When we have power even means 2, 4, 6, 8 and so on. A minus b perfect squared is equal to b minus a perfect squared. When the power is even, inside the bracket, the difference, the order of the difference of the terms can be interchanged. Using that fact, people, this delta minus gamma here, since we have power 2, this delta minus gamma, I can write as, people, gamma minus delta. Then that one I can write like this. As the next one, alpha minus beta perfect squared equals gamma minus delta perfect squared. Gamma minus delta perfect squared. Okay. People, now this is the time to use the previous results, right? What is the gamma alpha minus beta perfect squared? B squared minus 4c. We can put that way here. Gamma minus delta perfect squared is this. See here the way of using the previous result as I told you. Right? And then put them there. What do you get there? Alpha minus beta perfect squared is b squared minus 4c, and here gamma minus delta m squared minus 4n. So see the result we obtained. Right. Right now, people. Then part 1 is over. Part 1 is over. Right. We'll come to part 2. Part 2, people, we have a bit long simplification. Don't give up. Don't give up, people. At the beginning, put them to a deepest memory mind. Then, people, your mind will expect that kind of things in the future as well. Then very easily you can run the future parts in the syllabus, right? Okay, don't be lazy anyway. Don't be lazy, people. Ignore the laziness. Laziness is, people, very dangerous throughout the life for your improvement or development. Laziness. Most of the time our students say, today I can't study, I can't read this thing, very lazy nature, I do this tomorrow. Those guys, people, never come to a good level in the life. Understand? They day by day assigning themselves some reasons, people, they delay everything. Because some people are there, you can really see in our society, they don't like to walk even 100 meters, no. Very thin, very fat belly, very fat belly, very ugly the body, people see. Okay, so they are very lazy people. They have attained to particular levels, but people, if they ignore their laziness, people, they could have gone to higher levels than that. Some people, they sleep overnight till 11 o'clock in the morning. People, remember, human being, they have, of course, familiar having a good relief rest overnight. Then in the body, people, they have around 10, 11 after that in the night, 10, 11 to have a rest. And having a huge rest in the morning, in the night, people, in the morning, like 6, 7, once they start their work, people, in the morning session, they can work at their best perform till 12. That period, people, is the most important period in your life. Most of the things we bring into our body in that period, but our people on the bed that time, right, people? Just see, right? And the evening session, people, again, having a middle rest, we can work again till 10. So that rhythm is available now. For example, if we consider a person of 30 years age, 30 years old, in your child, baby nature, people, the small age people, till grade say age 10, 11, you had this cycle from 9 to following day morning 5 or 6, you have a nice rest overnight. That practice, rhythm, familiar nature available in the body. Body expect that always throughout the life, but we deviate that, right? We deviate that. Then our organs, they don't work properly in the following day. Due to that, people, we can't go to the optimum. Understand? So therefore, we have to practice like this. This is a cycle, people. The nature you can't change. You have to adapt to the nature. So therefore, as a studying student, people have a good sleep, like 7 hours. Not this time, people. After 6, 7, don't try to sleep. Right? By the end, 6 o'clock in the morning, you have to end your sleep and then start the following day work. That is how people, most of the well-developed people, of course, followed, right? And some students, they know what message, once I start the class in the morning 7, sir, 7 is not easy to us, sir. When we get up, it is like 8:30, 8:45. Sir, is it okay at 9 o'clock? Then that is why the people, this class fall at 9 o'clock. Right? That is the reason. So now, I can't change people, the majority. If I need to do a class, I have to follow according to them. That is why I changed the class to 9. Otherwise, I could have started this class in the morning 7 or 6:30 or 5. Anyway, we'll follow like that. If I suddenly change the situation, what happens is everything will collapse. Okay, but that is the way. Right, now we'll take people number 2. We'll take number 2. Right, second part in it. Right, second part, people, huge simplification available. Then we'll together do this simplification till the last answer we get. Don't be lazy, right? Don't be lazy. Do at your best. Don't be lazy. With the help of your brain. Don't look at the board. Yourself, people, do everything. Then only everything come into your brain, right? So then I need this alpha plus alpha beta, and I write them here and here, and thereafter I write the next thing, right? Alpha plus beta is minus b alpha beta c, and gamma plus delta and gamma delta minus sim and in. Right, okay. Now given this way, show that alpha minus gamma, alpha minus delta, beta minus gamma, beta minus delta. We have to prove this is equal to people this. Right. I'll tell you the way of getting this, right? Yeah. I first write this 2 on the right hand side within bracket like this. Alpha minus gamma, alpha minus delta. And the other 2 brackets I write within another square bracket separated like this. Beta minus gamma, beta minus delta. This way. Right. Now, people, what we do is we have to simplify this. Right. So now the left hand side, the expression only, people, I have written down on the right hand side. No change. Okay. Now what I do is this. We remove the brackets. How to remove the bracket, people? This alpha and this alpha we multiply. This alpha and this delta we multiply. This gamma and this alpha we multiply. This gamma and this delta we multiply. Then we get 4 terms. Here also you can do the same way. Take another 4 terms. People, come to that step. I think you can. Everybody can do that, no? Right. Come up there. We'll together do this, people. Hurry up. Right. We'll remove alpha and alpha, people, alpha squared. Alpha squared. Alpha and delta. Minus alpha delta, no? Because this is plus, this is minus, no? Alpha delta. This and this. Minus alpha gamma. This and this. Minus minus plus gamma delta. Next one. Beta and beta. Beta squared. Beta and delta. Beta delta. Gamma and beta. Minus gamma beta. Minus minus plus gamma delta. This is what we have. Okay, people, now. Right, now what I do is this next. Alpha squared. People, by these 2 terms, you can see minus alpha can be taken out. Gamma plus delta. And this gamma delta, I write like this. The next step we can substitute for that. Beta squared minus. By these 2 terms, people, you can see minus beta is common here. Minus beta, beta. Minus beta is common. Once you take minus beta out, people, delta plus gamma come in. That is nothing but gamma plus delta. And here gamma delta product. Gamma delta product. People, you know here, gamma plus delta is minus sim. Gamma delta is in. Then we can substitute alpha squared minus alpha times gamma plus delta. It's minus m, people. Gamma delta, it's in. Beta squared minus beta, gamma plus delta, it's minus m. Plus gamma delta, people, in. Okay, now we'll simplify this. Alpha squared minus minus plus m alpha plus n. Okay, and this bracket beta squared minus minus plus m beta plus n. Okay. Now this bracket contains 3 terms. This bracket contains 3 terms. Using this alpha squared, people, the 3 terms in the second bracket we can multiply. Using this m alpha, these 3 terms we can multiply. Using this n, these 3 terms we can multiply. Then people, once you remove these 2 brackets, we get 9 terms again. Now people obtain those 9 terms. How? Using this alpha squared, multiply this 3. Using this m alpha, multiply this 3. Using this n, multiply this 3. That is how we eliminate these 2 brackets. 9 terms coming. Take that, people. That also I think you can do. Right? I'll give you 5 minutes. Start. Right, people. Now we'll see how to take this. I'm going to write this expansion we are here, because left hand side always we have this product. Okay. First we multiply like this: alpha squared and beta squared. This and this. And then we get alpha squared, beta squared. No, I write that as alpha beta squared. Right. The alpha squared and this m times alpha squared beta, and n times alpha squared. Right. Then by this we multiply. That's okay. Next one, this m alpha beta squared. M alpha beta squared. Next one, m squared alpha beta. And this next one, m min alpha. M min alpha. Then by this also we have finished multiplying. Next one, n beta squared. N beta squared, m min beta, right? N and n squared. Okay, people, now we got the 9 terms. Right now, I think up to this you could take. Right. Now we further write like this. Because this alpha beta, what is this alpha beta? C. Substitute for this alpha beta C, then C squared coming. That is okay. This we considered. Now next one here we have, look at this. This term and this term when you consider together. When you consider these 2 terms, people, what are the common terms for these 2? M is available in both, in common. Alpha beta product common. Alpha beta product common for both terms. Then take m alpha beta out as common factor. It is plus, no? M alpha beta we take out. And then m beta and 1 alpha when you take out, from here we get alpha. Here, people, m alpha and 1 beta when you take out from this, we get plus beta within bracket. Right. Now, people, we take this term and this term. What is common? Plus n is common. Take plus n out. Then we get alpha squared and over there beta squared. Okay. Now we'll write, people, here m squared. This alpha beta is that C. And now we'll take this term and this term. For these 2 terms, people, m in product is common. We get alpha here plus beta. And this one is the last n squared. Now people, you can see here this alpha squared plus beta squared. Can you remember one expression we obtained for this alpha squared plus beta squared? What is that? Alpha plus beta perfect squared minus 2 alpha beta. Can you remember? We obtained. I'll directly put that one we are here. Otherwise, I have to use another one step to write. Then this one I can write alpha plus beta perfect squared minus 2 alpha beta. Now you can see here alpha beta here we have, alpha plus beta here we have, here alpha plus beta perfect squared minus 2 alpha beta we have, alpha plus beta we have. We can substitute for alpha plus beta minus b alpha beta people c. And now substitute them and keep simplifying. Right, start. C squared plus m times alpha beta, it's c, alpha plus beta, it's minus b. Right, n times alpha plus beta perfect squared. Here, alpha plus beta is minus b. We have to square minus b, people. Once you square minus b, what do we get? Minus b squared is minus squared is plus b squared. Then what is this? B squared. Before this, we have n. That is why we put bracket and n before. Within bracket only, this answer of this we write minus 2 alpha beta is c, people. Right. Now, next one, m squared c plus m in alpha plus beta, it's minus b plus n squared. This is what we get there. See here, a little simplification is there. What people, only the simplification know, right? If the simplification cannot be management, people, there is an issue. This kind of simplification, usual thing, people, in A levels. So therefore, definitely, we have to formulate this kind of simplification. After this question we worked out, do this question again, right? At your best and see what the time you can, within what time you can finish this question. So this question you should be able to finish, people, within 25 minutes. That's a good result. Right. Okay. Right, people, now I simplify like this now. I take this c squared first. I write this one here. When you remove the bracket by this n, people, what do you get here? Minus plus and minus, minus, no? Minus 2nc or 2cn. And the last term, this n squared, I take next. I write them together here. I take them separate like this. Now let's see what are other terms. Here, by this n, we have to multiply this b squared. What is that, people? Plus nb squared. Then all the terms from this bracket now we have taken. Right. Here, plus and minus minus mbc. This also we took. Now, people, these terms only we have m squared c and plus and minus mnb. This we took, this we took. Then all the terms available here we have taken. Right. People, what is this? This whole thing you can write as how, people? It is the perfect squared of c minus n, no? Expand this by using the result of a minus b squared. First square this c squared coming, this is coming. What is the middle term? Minus 2 times product of these two. Correct? Next one, plus n squared. Then this we can obtain by this. Now, people, in the question, another small part available. That is the b minus m into bn minus cm part. People, I'll give another 2 minutes by solving, simplifying this. Try to obtain the last answer, right? I'll give 2 minutes. Hurry up, people. I think you can do that. Okay, people, now we'll take here. For these two terms, when you consider, people, what is common? Simple b common, no? Simple B means plus B common. Once I take that simple B out, people, what we get there? Here NB coming. NB means Bn. Once you take B here, we get minus MC. Right. People, by these two terms, what is common there? Here M, here M. M is common, plus M is common. Then what do you get there? Once you take M out here, MC come in here. Once you take this M out, people, NB there we have, that is nothing but Bn. Okay, right. Right now, I think you can understand up to there. Right now, people, what is our answer? Answer is this: Bn minus Cm. Right. Now, see here, people, once you interchange this order of the terms, once you interchange the order of the terms, right? This way, we interchange the order of the terms. Extra minus sign coming out. That minus sign and this plus sign will be minus, people. It's very simple thing to understand like this, no? See here, x minus y. You can write as y minus x, but before this minus sign. Similar thing. Then we interchange this order, minus sign is coming. That minus sign is minus, this plus make people minus. Okay, all right. So then we count that next. Then people, we get the next step, the answer, right? See here, though it is a bit long, bit long. C minus N perfect squared plus B times Bn minus Cm. We interchange this order, then minus sign coming out. M, people, it is now Bn minus Cm. This we get. Now, when you consider this whole term, people, in that two terms, this term is common for both. Common for both. Then you can write C minus N perfect squared. People take this Bn minus Cm out. Then here we get within bracket. This term we take out, people. Then within bracket, this is B, here minus M. Okay, what's the answer there? Yeah, this B minus M available at the beginning, no? Right, we'll write it when we get that answer. C minus N perfect squared plus B minus M times Bn minus Cm. This is what people we get. Then this thing only in the left hand side we have, no? Alpha minus gamma, alpha minus delta, beta minus gamma, beta minus delta. People, this answer we have now. Right? Yeah. That answer we got. Right, people, here see only the simplification, no? Simplification ability gives this result, nothing else. Right, so here you can very clearly understand how does this simplification ability play a huge role in A level. To get that ability, people, definitely you must simplify questions. Don't look at the board. Now you take down this one, you can take down this in the board, but people do as homework again. The simplification ability, people, you can't improve by looking at something and writing. Okay. Right, people. Now we got that. deduce that equations x squared plus bx plus c equals 0 and x squared plus mx plus n equals 0 have a common root if and only if, see people, right? People, I have made a mistake. bn minus cm, b minus m, bn minus cm. People, I have got the answer, no, correctly? C minus n perfect squared plus b minus m, bn minus cm. All right, correct. bn minus cm, yeah. b minus m, correct. This is correct. Somebody asked. Yeah, this is correct. Yeah. People, now next one, a common root if and only if. Again, we have, right? If and only if proof, people. If and only if proof. Let's see how to take that. Okay. Now I'm going to summarize the situation like this. Right. People, now if I need this result. Okay. That result I write at the side like this. Right. This result I need to use, right? The result I write here. Alpha minus gamma, alpha minus delta, beta minus gamma, beta minus delta is equal to c minus n perfect squared plus b minus m, bn minus cm. This one we just now we proved, right? Okay. Now, people, I'm going to the very first statement given in the question: x squared plus bx plus c. This quadratic equation has the roots alpha, beta. Another quadratic equation given, it is x squared plus mx plus n. X squared plus mx plus n equals 0. That has the roots, people. X squared plus mx plus n has the roots gamma delta. Gamma delta, right? This idea we have, people. Now see this here. Deduce that. Again, people, that word deduce available. Deduce means what? Proof. Why do we use the deduce there? Using the previous rule, previous result. Previous result you must use to prove that one. Understand? That is the meaning of deduce. Right? It is a certain sort of proof. To prove that one, the previous result you should definitely use. Right? Okay? Yeah. Now, deduce that the equations x squared plus bx plus c equals 0, that means this and this, have a common root if and only if. People, tell me, this equation has two roots alpha and beta. This equation has two roots gamma and delta. People, for this and this, if they have a common root, can you explain me the way of occurring common root for that two equations? Common root means this has two roots, this has two roots. One value is available here and here both. One is common. People, like that. If a common root occurs for the two equations, people, what are the possible ways of occurring common root? See, people, there are four ways. Look at this. Alpha and this gamma equal. This root alpha equal to this gamma. Alpha is the root of this. Gamma means same alpha, no? Then same alpha is the root of this. Therefore, these two equations will have a common root. What is that? Alpha. One way is that, people. If alpha is equal to gamma, the two equations will have a common root. Okay. Secondly, if alpha is equal to delta, alpha is the root of this, and this delta also equal to this alpha, then alpha is the root of this as well. then these two equations, again, that is the common root. What are the other two possibilities? Beta and gamma being equal and beta and delta being equal. There are 4 ways of having a common root for the two equations. Understand? People, from there we'll start. This is if and only if proof. Then to both directions we have to prove. What, people? If the two equations have a common root, then the given thing we have to prove. Starting the given thing, we have to come back to obtain the two equations have a common root. Understand? To both directions we have to prove. Then people, how do we start? We start by writing one statement. What? This equation and this equation have a common root. From there only, people, will start. Then we'll start the proof. Right? Then we write, people, like this. Okay, I'm going to write it like this. The equations x squared plus bx plus c equals 0 and x squared plus mx plus n equals 0 have a common root. Have a common root. This is the first line, people, sentence. Right. People, this statement says what? This statement says for this and these two equations to have a common root, that can occur by equating alpha and gamma. If this alpha and gamma being equal, they will have a common root. Or alpha and delta, or beta and gamma, or beta and delta. Definitely this O, this O, this O, this. Out of this 4, definitely one should be occurring for them to have what? Common root. They must have a common root. Then one of these 4 must definitely occur. Right, people, this implies what? Take this gamma to this side, alpha minus gamma equals 0. Or take this delta to this side, alpha minus delta is equal to 0. Or take this gamma to this side, beta minus gamma is equal to 0. Or take this delta to this side, 0. No, people. Right. This implies what, people? One of these 4 should be 0. If one of these 4, if one of these 4, 0 mean, people, when we multiply them together, what can you say? This implies alpha minus gamma multiplied by alpha minus delta multiplied by beta minus gamma multiplied by beta minus delta. People, this product we consider, right? But this line says one of these 4. There are 4 brackets. This line says one of that 4 is definitely 0. Then, people, what can you say? Suppose the last one is 0, but other 3 are not 0. People, you know, when you multiply something by 0, what is the product? Product is 0. So therefore, whichever out of these 4 in the product becomes 0, the entire product is 0. Understood? So therefore, this implies 0. Why? One of these 4 bracket is definitely 0 according to this. But people, what is this? People, this is the place where we use that deduce to give a mean. Deduce means using the previous result. No. What is the result for this? Now we can use. Here we have proved the product is equal to this. Then I can put for this what? That right hand side. Okay. Look at this, people. It's C minus N perfect squared plus b minus m times bn minus en equals 0, because we have proved that. Right now, then what is to be proved? Now people, we can bring this to right hand side. C minus n perfect squared. Once I bring this right hand side, this will be, people, minus sign coming, no, before this way. Once you multiply by this minus sign, people, this first bracket, this order will change to what? M minus b. Then we'll write that straight away without taking another one more step. That will be M minus b. This we got. Right? See here, we started saying the equations this and this have a common root. Starting from there, we got this. What is that proof, people? If proof. If the equations this and this have a common root, then this is true. Then only if part. Only if these two become equal, we have to prove these two equations have a common root. Now, the converse result we can do putting backward arrows, people. That's only, right? Yeah. Put like this. This is how we prove that result. Okay, right. Another part is there. The last part, we go to the last part. Okay. Right. Next one, read the next part, people. The equations x squared plus 10x plus k equals 0 and x squared plus k x plus 10 equals 0 have a common root where k is a real constant. Find the values of k. Right. Find values of k. Then people, in A-level question, after proving something like this, people, if there is another part to answer, most of the time, we can answer the last part by the previous proof we did in the question. That is how usually the question is set. Understood? So now let's see how to answer the last part by the proof so far we have done. Right. Then I am going to abbreviate the summarize this result here. Right. Yeah, this is how we summarize. Right. People, now this statement only I need. The equations this and this have a common root. Then what have we proved? It is this. Then this is true. C minus n perfect squared equals m minus p times bn minus cn. Right? This equation and this equation, if they have a common root, people, this relation we can establish. Understand? B means what? C means what, people? This constant. N means what? In the equation, this constant, it's perfect squared. M minus B, what is that, people? Here and here, the x coefficient. And other one also like that, by machine we can think. Right, now, let's see the next one. Right, now I take this. This is our in-hand result. It's our in-hand result. Right. Now we are given, people, two equations. What are the two equations given? One is x squared plus 10x plus k equals 0. The other one is x squared plus kx plus 10 equals 0. People, these two have a common root. This equation and this equation have a common root given in the question. Right. Now compare this result with the one just now we proved. What we proved? This equation and this equation have a common root, then this relation we can write because we have proved that one. Now try to match this result for the last question. Now people, you can see like this. This equation we can obtain given for this B10 here, given for this CK, by this equation we can obtain this. And by this equation we can obtain this one given for this MK, given for this M10. Like that we can very easily make a comparison. Right. Then we can compare this and determine B10 here, CK. And here M is K, N is 10. Right. Okay, no? Once we give these values for this and this, by these two equations, we get this. Since people, this and these two equations have a common root, then this kind of result we can write for these two equations also, because of we have proved that earlier. If these two have a common root, we proved this way a result we can write now. Now for this and this equation, since we are given they have a common root, people, this kind of similar result we can write for these two equations with the help of this determined B, C, M and N values. Then what is the result? Directly these values we can put where? In this result. How to write that? Use in the previous result we proved. Right? You can write. Use in the previous or result proved above. Use in the result proved above. Put people what? These values. C is what? K. Minus N. What is N, people? 10. Perfect square. Equals M, it's K. B, it's 10. Right? And Bn. B is 10. N is 10. It's 100 minus Cm. K and Kk squared. This result we can very easily write, people, by the result we proved. Since we have already proved this, people, without any trouble, any hesitate mind, we can use that because we have proved that. Okay, right. You get full marks for that. Now what we do is, people, by simplifying this, we have to take the value of K. Right? Yeah. Okay, I simplify it like this. I take this right hand side to left. This way. Right? K minus 10 perfect squared minus, once I bring this to left hand side, we get minus sign, no? K minus 10, and that 100, people, we can write 10 squared and K squared like this, equals 0 now. This 100 and wrote as 10 squared with the idea to factorize this. Right, people? I can bring this minus sign inside this. K minus 10 perfect squared coming. Once I bring this minus sign inside this place now plus K minus 10. People, once I bring this minus sign inside, what happened to this? This will be equal to what? K squared minus 10 squared, no? By that minus sign, we have to multiply this and this both, no? That will be K squared minus 10 squared. People, you can write this as by factorizing K minus 10, K plus 10. Then straight away I write this one. How, people? K minus 10, K plus 10. I did two simplifications in one step. What is that? Minus sign I include into this. Then this place will be plus. This is now k squared minus 10 squared. K squared minus 10 squared I factorize by using difference of two squares factors like this. Then people here, k minus 10 means what? K minus 10 perfect squared. Here also we have k minus 10 perfect squared. People, you can take that k minus 10 perfect squared out from a bracket. Out from a bracket. Take that k minus 10 perfect squared out. Open the bracket, people. Then once you take this whole thing out, we get there 1. K minus 10 is k minus 10 out, people. Then this place is 1, but k plus 10 is there. Equals 0. This is what we get. Right. Now you can very clearly see here k minus 10 perfect squared times this is k plus 11 equals 0. This product must be equal to 0, people. For this product to be 0, definitely this perfect squared should be 0, or this k plus 11 should be 0.
Excuse me, sir.
Right?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can you explain me that step again where that 1 came, 1 plus k plus 10?
Now, once I take this out, this k minus 10 perfect squared you can write as k minus 10 perfect squared into 1 plus, no? Once you take this out, what is remaining?
1. Okay, sir, understood.
What's the name?
Hikma Munaf.
Right. Okay, people, now, once this perfect square equals 0, people, perfect square of a number to be 0, definitely that number should be 0. This implies what? K minus 10 equals 0. This is nothing but k is 10. 1 answer of k is 10. Oh, people, here bring this right hand side. Minus 11. Right. There are 2 answers for k. People, k is 10, k is minus 11. There are 2 answers of k. Right. But people, these 2 answers of k, 1 answer of k cannot be accepted. The reason, what was the question given? The 2 equations given like this, people. One is x squared plus bx plus c equals 0. No. X squared plus 10x plus k equals 0. The other one is x squared plus kx plus 10 equals 0. Right, people? Now, what are the meanings of this k equals 10 and k equals minus 11? Yeah, we found these 2 answers subject to the condition for these 2 equations to have a common root. The values k must take. Understand? K equals 10 and k equals minus 11, people. Those values, this way we obtain 10 and minus 11 for k. For these 2 equations to have a common root, one common root. People, just take k equals 10. When k equals 10, people, see what you get. This equation becomes x squared plus 10x plus 10 equals 0. This equation, x squared plus 10x plus 10 equals 0. People, what happens when k equals 10? The 2 equations, this and this, become one equation. X squared plus 10x plus 10 equals 0. X squared plus 10x plus 10 equals 0. The equation, this and this, when k equals 10, become one equation. People, now there are no 2 equations. There are no 2 quadratic equations. People, if there are no 2 quadratic equations, how can we speak about the common thing for them? In order to speak about the common thing, people, there should be 2 different things, no? For 2 different equations only, we can speak about the common root. But when k equals 10, people, that two equations at the beginning we thought of having convert to only one equation. Then, of course, no point of talking about giving only one equation, asking a common root people. So therefore, k equals 10 is not valid. Understood? K equals 10 is not valid. Therefore, the answer is k equals minus 11. Understood? In that marking scheme, in that year, people, they have accepted both answers of k, 10 and minus 11, but k equals 10 people, not true. Why? When k equals 10, the both equation will be only one equation. For only one equation, people, asking find a common root means, people, no meaning. Understood? So then, people, when k equals 10, these two equations become the same. Therefore, k equals 10 is impossible. All right, you can write the equations become equal, become same. Therefore, no point of talking about common root. Therefore, k equals 10 is impossible. Hence, the answer is what, people? Hence, k is minus 11. K is minus 11.